Hi guys, thank you for tuning in again and welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Wine Down Wednesday. Alright, so the wine that I'm drinking today is Indian Creek. It's local. I'm actually a member of their wine club, but this week is Merlot, their 2016 Merlot. Their labels are always super cute. They specially design them. So anyway, and I have my Indian Creek glass here too. As a member of their wine club, they charge me, I'm gonna say around $50 maybe per quarter. And every quarter you get to go and you can you can have it shipped to you, or they have special wine pickup events where they'll have local vendors and musicians come and you come and pick up your bottle of wine, which you usually get 3. I'm a part of the mixed wine group, I think. So I get a mix of white and red. They do I think they have just a white or they have just a red, but I'm not sure. I'm not the biggest fan of white wines, but I really do like their white wine. And it gives me a chance to try different ones that I wouldn't normally try if I was just to go to the store. But it's located locally here in Kuna, Idaho. It's another suburb of Boise, just outside of Meridian. It's a little more east. It's quite a bit east actually, but it's not that far. It's I live in Nampa, so it's about, I'll say 20-minute drive for me to go out to their winery, and it's so beautiful. They have an outdoor stage for in the summer and the spring, sometimes in the fall pickups where they can have the musicians. You can bring your dog, and you can bring in your own food. So I highly recommend joining the wine club at Indian Creek. I love them there. It's a family-ran winery. I mean, the owners there, it's a husband and wife, and they just had a baby, and they let their little dog walk around. Anyway, you can check them out. They have a website, and I'll actually link it below so you guys can see what I'm talking about and maybe become a wine club member and we can talk about the wines. And this wine is weird because I'm not a big Merlot person. I like Cabernets, which I know some people don't think that there's that huge of a difference, but I like Merlot, or I like Cabernet, and this Merlot is actually really good, and I'm actually really disappointed because they told me when I went to my wine pickup, because you get to try them while you're there too. Another benefit of being a wine member is you get to try them. It's usually I think a $5 tasting fee, and you can try 5 different wines or something like that. But when you're a member there for your pickup, you get to do the tasting for free. Anyway, back to the Merlot. They told me that they were getting their grapes from another vineyard for their Merlot, and the guy that was in charge of it just ripped out his vineyard, so they're no longer going to be using his grapes, and so this is the last of this Merlot. They're searching for another one. They do grow their own grapes there, just not their Merlot grapes, but I'm actually really surprised. I like it. It's not as peppery. I like wine, but I'm not a professional, so please don't quote me, but this isn't as peppery. It seems kind of light. It's still dry. It's still a dry red, but it's more like the Cabernet that I like. So let's get into today's topic, which today, I guess first let's start off with, how are you all doing with this craziness that's going on in the world? I want to know what you guys are doing to stay busy, how to stay positive, stay motivated. I'm lucky that I'm in a business that's essential. Real estate is considered essential, so I'm still able to go show houses, go to closings, and I've been having Zoom meetings with my team and with lenders and title rep, just trying to stay current, doing my continuing ed classes, and yeah, I'm trying to read and enjoy this time kind of actually to be home and be home with my dog and my husband. So what are you guys doing? I mean, I have an at-home workout. I'm really bummed that the gym is closed. Another thing I'm involved in is Idaho Fitness Factory. Me and my husband, we try and go every morning before he goes to work at 7. So we try and get there around 5:45, and we would lift weights together, and then I try and do some kind of cardio, maybe nothing too intense because I hate running. I do it, but I hate it. So I found, I just have to talk about this. If you are looking for a fun class in the Treasure Valley, Idaho Fitness Factory has, lots of gyms in the valley, and you can have a membership and go to anyone in the valley. So if you want a class, and I've never been a big class person, my hair lady actually told me about it, high fitness, it kicks my butt, but I love it because I've tried Zumba, and Zumba is intense, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of dancing, which you think I would like being a dancer in high school, you know, doing ballet and all those jazz and hip hop growing up. You would think I would enjoy Zumba, but I don't. But I don't know if that's because I'm like dancing in front of people and judging myself. Anyway, so I like high fitness because I guess it's maybe like aerobics, what it used to be, like 80s. They do music, but you're working out while you do it. Like it's not really dancing, but you're just constantly moving, so you get a lot of cardio that way. And I am so sore the next day, so I highly recommend high fitness when we can go back to the gym, because this staying at home is driving me crazy. I found some online at-home recommended workouts that I'm doing, but it's not the same as going to the gym for me. But what are you guys doing? What at-home workouts are you doing? What recipes are you doing to stay healthy instead of eating all that junk food? Because I know that is a huge temptation, or drinking all the wine is a huge temptation. So what are you guys doing? What are you doing to stay motivated, to stay healthy, and to stay focused and happy? Because that's a few things that I've been doing. Is I get to stay at work, or I get to stay working from home. I get a little bit of social interaction by going to show houses for some clients and working with my team through Zoom and working with other title and lender reps through Zoom. So that keeps me sane. But I'm also reading. So I want to know what you guys are reading. And this is going to sound dumb, but I love novels. I've always loved novels. Growing up, anything novel, like just being able to forget reality and read a book about a mystery or a romance or adventure is my kind of thing. But I've been trying to be better at reading like bettering yourself books. So I read Crush It this year. I read Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk, both those. I read Vlog Like a Boss by Amy Landino, or it was Amy Schmidt-Hauser when she wrote it. And I follow her channel. Love you, Amy. If you ever see my YouTube channel, I love you. Anyway, but currently I am reading Atomic Habits, and I'll link all of these down below. But I just got, and I'm so excited. Oh, I guess I'm reading The Witcher 2, the books The Witcher. I don't know if you've heard about it on Netflix. I already binge watched that series when it came out because I'm reading the books, because my husband played the video games and he wanted me to read the book and tell him if it was good. So I guess I am reading that now, but it hasn't really sucked me in yet. But the TV show is great. It's great. It actually follows pretty well along with the book. So I recommend, if you don't want to read the books, to watch the show because it's really good. But my friend, she's a part of a book club. And so she pays like a monthly fee and she gets a book. And so last night she gave me 3 books that are novels that I get to read, and I'm so excited. I'm also, I'm kind of an old lady and I like to crochet. I am not good at crocheting. Don't think I'm over here knitting sweaters and whole outfits and stuff. Maybe one day, but not yet. But I've decided that I want, for all my friends, because all my friends are pregnant and they're all having babies right now, that I want to crochet them baby blankets for their baby showers and their gifts. And I'm sorry if that's a spoiler alert to all my friends that are watching, but the reason I do is because before, I was getting the diapers and getting the store-bought blanket or toy and stuff, which I think is great. And I'm still giving diapers because I can only imagine how important those are. But I want to give them something that's handmade and like that I put a lot of thought into by designing it and the colors that I'm doing, and that I put a lot of time into too. My first friend, shout out to Carrie and her baby Cadence, were my first baby blanket, and every time I see them using it, I just like melt. So maybe it's a little selfish, but I just want to give them something from the heart that I put a lot of time, effort, and thought into. Anyway, so that's another thing that I'm doing to kind of stay sane, and I'm trying to finish another friend's baby blanket that she actually gave birth at the beginning of March, and I'm so upset because I haven't gotten to go see him, my little nephew, and I'm so excited. But I haven't finished his baby blanket yet because I mistakenly was like, oh, I want to make this one a little bigger so he can use it for a while. I made it like 4 times the size of the last one. So it's taken me a little longer to make. But hopefully he can use it until forever, you know? And I hope he loves it, and I hope when he sees it, he thinks of Auntie Blair. Anyway, so those are some things that I'm doing. In the morning, I work out. I do my at-home workout. I do all of my work. I check my email, put in new listings, putting in offers, following up with people, do all of that. And then when my husband gets home, I want to be with him because he's considered essential. So he goes to work every day. And I want to be with him, and that's when I will watch a show and I'll crochet, or if he's playing a video game. He doesn't play this sounds like he plays video games a lot, but he doesn't. But when he does play a video game, I like to read or something. So anyway, that is what I'm doing to stay sane. Cooking, gotta cook with what you got. So, any healthy recipes that you have for like ground beef or elk, we have a lot of elk and deer, I would love to hear your recipes. Anyway, so let's get back again to the topic of this video. I want to talk about closing costs, and I know it's taken me a while to get on topic, but I just want to really know how you guys are doing out there, and if I can help with anything. If you need food drop off or anything, I don't know where toilet paper is, so I can't really help you with that. But if you need a meal, I would love to send one your way. So just let me know if you're struggling and if I can help in any way. Anyway, closing costs. So right now, it is a weird time in the market, because this is the busiest season for realtors, because, it's getting close to the time that kids are going to be out of school, so it'll be easier for families to move during the summer, and so that's kind of why it picks up more in the spring, and it's, and everyone doesn't want to move in the snow, so this is why it's the busiest time of the year for realtors. And it's weird because of the coronavirus, how we are all in lockdown, and we all want to make sure that we're staying safe and healthy out there. I know when I go to showings, I bring my hand sanitizer. We try not to touch anything if we can, and I use hand sanitizer before I go in, and I use it when I get back out because I don't want to catch it, and I want my clients to be safe too. But anyway, it's still a busy market. I do have clients right now that their max budget is $300,000, and it's still low inventory market out there, guys. So the houses that we have seen have already had multiple offers. So if this is for you, I think right now is a great time for first-time home buyers or people that you have to sell your house before you can buy a house. So a contingent offer, or getting these things like closing costs covered. It is a good time for that because there are less people going to look at houses because they're trying to stay home and stay healthy, or they might be in a weird position with their job, how they can't work or they're not getting paid, or some scary instances is feeling like you might not have a job anymore. So yes, there is less traffic, but there is also still traffic, if that makes sense, because we still have low inventory, and it could be even lower now because people that were gonna list in March, April, or May be on hold waiting for this all to pass. We have even less inventory than normal. And that's why I want to talk about closing costs. I feel like a lot of you, so closing costs are like the title fees, and just like the costs of closing your loan. And in the past, when it's a buyer's market, so basically when we have 5 months worth of inventory, so like a house stays on the market for 5 months, I guess that's not considered a buyer's market. That's a normal market. A normal market is when we list a house and it stays on the market it could be on the market for 5 days or for 5 months, and it can take 5 months for it to close or something like that. And we're definitely not in that market right now. That is a normal market, and it's still, houses are going on the market and same day going pending. So it's still a seller's market. And back in the past, when it was a buyer's market after last recession, you could ask more for closing costs to be covered. And this is more of a situation, for first-time home buyers, those people that don't have a lot of money coming into the transaction to put down. They want to put a bigger down payment, so their loan amount is less, and so they would ask for closing costs to be covered by the seller, which was a lot more common during a buyer's market when people were staying on the house, or people's houses were staying on the market for 5+ months. It was costing them money to not accept that only offer that they received. when it's just easier to cover the closing costs. But now, because it is a seller's market, sellers are getting offers, a lot of offers. It's multiple offer situation, and as an agent, I am supposed to advise you on what I think is the best option for you, or what's the best way for you to get this house. And I don't ever recommend you doing anything that makes you uncomfortable. If you have to have closing costs covered because you don't have the money for it, then you have to ask for closing costs to be covered. But if that's not the case, I would always recommend, or I highly recommend, that you cover your own closing costs. The sellers don't care about your down payment. What they care about, and you have to think of it on your side. If you were the seller, you obviously want to net the most money after paying your own closing costs and your loan amount, or if you still have a mortgage on it, or even if you don't have a mortgage, you want to make sure that you're netting the most money, right? You want to get the most value out of your house that you have either put your blood, sweat, and tears into for fixing and maintaining, or that it was your first home and you love it and you just want to, see it go to a good home. You still want to get the most out of it. So that's the best way I can recommend it to you guys. So for buyers, I know closing costs, you're like, if I don't have to pay that $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 at closing, it would help. I get that. But if it prevents you from getting the home of your dreams because you can offer full price and not ask for cover or closing costs, or even offering over asking price and not asking for closing costs, that's just going to put you that much ahead of other offers. Especially in the first time home buyer situation, a lot of people are asking for closing costs. So this just puts you ahead if you don't have to ask for closing costs, if that makes sense. Because the reason you're asking for closing costs to be covered is because you have to use your money for your down payment. But with first time home buyer options, there is an option for down payment assistance. So if you can use the down payment assistance where it covers your down payment and it's like a second loan basically, I mean, there's so many loan options out there. That's just the one that I know. But if you use the down payment assistance program and then you can cover your closing costs, I know that makes your payment a little more every month, but then it gets you the house that you wanted, if that makes sense. Because the seller's going to see that they're getting a full price offer and they don't have to cover closing costs, so they're going to net more than if they get another offer that's full price asking for closing costs covered. So that's another $3,000 that they're losing, if that makes sense. And I know it's kind of hard to understand until you are the seller. I get it. You're like, why does the seller care if I offer them $3,000 more than what they were asking, but then ask them to cover closing costs? Yes, they're netting the same, but we're in a multiple offer situation. So if it's multiple offers, there can be another person that's like, I'll go $500, $1,000, $5,000 over the next highest offer. It's called the bump clause or escalation clause. So a lot of times people are using, I offer full price, I offer asking price, and then will you cover and I don't ask you to cover anything else. I'll pay my own closing costs, I'll pay for the inspection. All you guys have to do is accept my offer. And then if you get another offer that's over mine, I will go another $500, $1,000, $3,000 over that offer price up to X amount. So they're setting a limit. So if you offer more than that limit, then you could potentially win. But if you don't, and you're just offering their asking price and asking them to cover closing costs, you're going to lose because they're going to net more with the other person, if that makes sense. I know this is all confusing if it's not you, but the main point of my Wind Down Wednesday today is if you find a house that you love and you are able to cover your own closing costs, do it. Because that could be the only reason your offer isn't getting accepted is because you're asking the sellers to cover closing costs. Now, every situation is different, and your agent should be calling and talking to the other agent and seeing where their sellers are at and all of that stuff and see how they would feel about it. But I'm just letting you know now in this market, after representing a few sellers and a few buyers, and I've seen it happen where buyers are losing houses because they are asking for closing costs. And it takes them a couple times, but they finally remove the closing cost contingency. So anyway, that's the main thing in my video, or the main point of my video is just, if you can cover your closing costs, it's just going to make your offer that much stronger. That's it. That's the point. Anyway, like I said, I would like to know what you guys are doing in this weird time with the quarantine, and Idaho had an earthquake yesterday. An earthquake. I've lived here my whole life. Never felt an earthquake here. In fact, that's why I love Idaho. We don't have earthquakes, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have tsunamis, anything like that. And we had a freaking earthquake yesterday. I guess the last time was in 1983, which was before I was born, so I don't know. I don't know what that was like, but it was scary. I don't know what's happening in this world. So what are you guys doing to stay sane? Please feel free to leave me a comment or send me an email. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Sorry this is kind of a long video, but this is a weird time that we're in. But if you like these videos or any of my other videos, please, I would appreciate you guys subscribing and seeing you guys every week.